Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to tell you why, if you're thinking about retiring somewhere overseas, why you might want to consider Cambodia as opposed to the other neighboring countries here in Southeast Asia. And I just want to get this out there tomorrow as I'm making this video. Tomorrow, July 30th, is my birthday. And I am having a meetup at Brothers Restaurant on down there in the Watbo area. I will leave a link to that location down below. And if you're in or around the Siem Reap and you want to join us around 6 o'clock on Tuesday night, feel free to just drop on in. I'll be the guy looking like a homeless Santa, and buy me a couple cheap beers and we can talk about whatever. I like to talk. I like to meet people. So if you're in the area, you're invited. Feel free to stop on in. And again, I'll leave the location for that restaurant down below. And hey, if you're not going to be around, but you still want to help us celebrate, consider supporting the channel. I have links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com. And your support makes all the good things happen. We truly do appreciate it. You guys have been great, and we love you for it. So considering making a donation there, and that would really help us out. And also, don't forget to check out all my books. There's a link down below where you can find all of them, including my debut horror novel, which just released this month, called Pray for Salvation. So if you're into that, there's a link down below, and you can find that along with all the rest of my books right down there. Now, when people want to retire and they don't want to retire in, where they're from, in some Western country, I'm going to use the United States as an example. You have many options. A lot of people prefer South America. A lot of people prefer Mexico. And a whole lot of people prefer right here in my region in Southeast Asia. That includes Laos and Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Myanmar. And a lot of people like to retire in different parts of the world. Maybe because of the cost of living, maybe because of the weather. It's a lot nicer, you know. But whatever you do, wherever you decide to go, remember just to go where it makes you happiest. But I just want to give a little plug to Cambodia as far as retirement goes, because I do believe it's one of the easiest countries to retire in, because the minimum requirements are so forthright. It's very, very easy. And if you compare it to some place like Thailand, where you had to have something like 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account that you can't spend really, because that's got to be in there whenever they check. Plus you have all the, every few months you have to check in with immigration and wait in line, go through that process. So it's not sometimes as convenient for a lot of people, especially if you don't want that money being held up in a bank account. And as for Vietnam, it's they don't actually have a retirement plan there for foreigners. Generally, like Americans, you can apply for a visa through any Vietnam embassy, and you can get it for 6 months or a year. However, you're only allowed to stay in the country 3 months at a time, I believe. I believe that's the new regulation. Correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody knows. But I believe you're only allowed to stay there 3 months, and you got to do a visa border run after that every 3 months to keep renewing your visa, because they don't have an actual retirement visa kind of deal. So again, with the cost of traveling to the border and doing the visa runs, that can be a hassle. It can be kind of stressful and cost you more money in the long run, especially when you got to do it every 3 months. But that's why I always say, for people considering this part of the world, you might want to consider retiring in Cambodia, because once your initial 30-day e-visa is done, if you are 55 or older, that's the requirement. You can go to a travel agency, you're 55 or older, they'll have you sign a piece of paper stating that you're not going to work and receive money inside of the country, from Cambodian sources. And then you give them your thumbprint. And that is basically the requirements. Like, there's no need for a bank statement, no need for proof of income, And you can get your retirement extension, your retirement visa extension for up to a year. That's about $300 per year. But all you need to do is be 55 or older and sign a piece of paper and a thumbprint. It's really, comparatively to the other countries in this region, it's probably the easiest one to go in. It's like Cambodia thought of a great plan, I think. They're one of the smaller countries. Usually when people think about this area, they think about Thailand or Vietnam, because those are the more popular countries, I guess you can say, the more widely known countries. So I think Cambodia just said, well, we'll just simplify the process and get our share of that foreigner money, And I think they've done a really good job with that. I mean, a lot of visa extension rules and regulations have changed since the pandemic. Some make it where you need more paperwork and some other documentation. But the retirement visa extension has basically stayed the same. It's a very, very low point of entry. And like I said, you can stay here for up to a year at a time, but you can also extend those extensions for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and like I said, up to a year. And the good thing is that even if you like, well, okay, I can use Cambodia as my base, but I want to go to these other countries, that's perfect because the proximity to all these countries is very, very close. You can get there on a day on a bus ride, with no hassle. And you won't have to go through the whole exorbitant, stressful visa process for those other countries if you want to go and take a visit while you make your home right here in Cambodia. Now, like I said, some people, they might have the means and the patience and all that, and they prefer to live in Thailand or Vietnam or somewhere else, and that's fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking for an ease of retiring somewhere in this part of the world, again, and maybe I'm prejudiced because I live here, but I would recommend Cambodia because they just make it so darn easy, And when it comes to the visa extensions, if you get a 6 month or a year, that is a multiple entry visa extension. So you are free to go to all these other countries anywhere you want. You can go back and forth as many times as you wish. And when you come back in, you're still under the same visa extension you were when you left. So you don't have to start the process over. Whereas if you get a 1 or a 3 month extension on any visa extension, once you leave the country, that extension is null and void. It's no longer good. Then when you re-enter, you'll have to start the whole visa process over with your initial e-visa for 30 days and then getting another extension. So I would definitely recommend, if you know you're going to be here, if you know this is where you want your, at least your home base to be, to get the 6 month or a year at a time, because it's just very convenient. And like I said, very, very easy. It's all streamlined specifically, so there's not a lot of stress or anxiety when you're doing one of those things. Because when rules and regulations change, as they do often sometimes in other countries, and even here sometimes, you just never know. You go there and I hope the information is correct, because if something changed and all of a sudden they deny me entry, then what are you going to do? You're stuck in Vietnam, and you go to do a visa run, and they say no, you can't do that anymore, or whatever. It's not like that now, but I'm saying that could be a scenario, and then you're kind of left holding the bag there because they don't have an actual retirement visa scheme going on. So yeah, I would definitely highly recommend Cambodia for those thinking to retire. And of course, for all the other reasons I've stated in many more videos, the very low cost of living, the very delicious, awesome, and variety of foods they have here. No matter what your taste, you're going to be able to find it, at least here in Siem Reap. So many restaurants to choose from, so many different varieties. You could probably eat at a different place every day and not eat the exact same kind of food for a very, very long time. That's what we got going on here. And of course, as I always, like I said in another video, the number one reason is just how friendly the people are. They're just very welcoming and accommodating, and they love learning about you. They want to be your friend. They'll help you out the best way they can. And if you want to learn the language, it's not really that hard, but if you're an old guy like me, maybe a little bit more difficult. But we try. We make it work, and I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, like I said, it might not be your choice. Perhaps you prefer South America. Perhaps you prefer Mexico. Perhaps Europe. If you're from the United States, a lot of people, they've always wanted to travel to Europe, and hey, if that's your thing, man, go for it and be happy while you're doing it. That's the important thing. But if you are thinking about Southeast Asia, and you haven't considered this very small country of Cambodia, just consider that if you want to retire, because I think you'll like it. You'll still have all the options of going to all these other amazing countries around here without a hassle, and hopefully you'll be happy no matter what you do. And like I said, that's the most important thing. Whatever you do, no matter your lifestyle, just be happy with it. And that's about the best you can hope for, I think. All right, so be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, I have PayPal and Ko-fi.com if you want to donate and help support the channel. There are also all kinds of great YouTube channels down below that are also vlogging from this part of the world, and I highly recommend that you check those out and subscribe to them and watch some of their content. They're going to give a lot of good information, and it's always good to get an idea of what other people think. You can get many, many different perspectives from the same area and the same country, and knowledge is always a good thing. All right, so from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.